Hello, AP Stats people. How are ya? It's Kitty Morgan here, the crazy math nerd, here on page 5 of the student pack. And this is day 2. And we're just going to go on and work some stuff and figure out some things along the way. We're just having fun. So we're going to work through the example, and then we're going to use vocabulary if needed and make some notes when needed, okay? That's how we're going to do this. So it says, create bar charts showing the frequencies and relative frequencies for the data in the car example on page 3. And I have actually, this is the data from page 3. It's the data we used in the last video. And we've never made a bar chart, so let's do that. How about that? Okay, so it said it wanted a frequency and a relative frequency. And so one of the things I'd like for us to note is that I got to get my highlighter, is that a bar chart displays distributions with each bar's length proportional to the frequency, and they have spaces between them. Okay, so that's what we have to do. So this is very important that we do the next thing, and that is we need to label what the I'm going to call it this. It's not really that. What the kind of the X and Y axis are, but not really. What we're going to do down here is list the variables. And the variables are the make of the cars. So down here, I'm going to write car make. And I've already along what I'm going to call the y-axis. It's not really a y-axis, but let's call it the vertical axis, is the frequency of that. And y'all, I'm so sorry about how this is written. I'm writing on a tablet. It is very difficult to write sideways. Okay, and so also over here, and we'll just do this one first and then we'll worry about the other one. So once you figure out what the horizontal and vertical axis represent in this bar chart, then you're actually going to label your variables for each one of those in there. And my tablet does weird things when I make certain motions with my pen. So please forgive me, I'm trying. And then this is the car make. Okay. We now have to figure out how to label the vertical axis that's labeled with frequency according to our data. So notice that all of our data, what is the largest frequency that we have, and that is that Japanese at 6. So that is the largest data we have to represent. So when I'm doing this, I might even do something like 2, 4, 6. I need to label those so you kind of know what they are. They do not have to be perfect, which is going to drive some of y'all crazy. I know that. But it just has to be labeled enough so that you're making the data, at least people can tell kind of what data that you're trying to represent. So the Americans had 2. So what you do is you just make a box above that variable. And then you normally, well, it should go up to 2. So they know that there's 2 people that prefer that. And the European, there are 4 people. So I'm going to go make a box at 4. There's my weird tablet's doing weird again. And y'all, you might not have straight lines. We're going to try to keep as straight as we can, but it doesn't have to be perfect. And then the Japanese would go all the way up to 6. So that is terrible. So do the best you can making your straight lines. I really wish I could get a ruler out right now, but I can't because I'm on a tablet. So this should kind of show people, take the data and make a picture out of it, okay? Now we have the relative frequency graph. And again, I'm going to change this to blue. I'm trying to change the color so that I am color coordinated as far as the different things. Oh, I want red, excuse me. And so I'm going to do American and European and Japanese here. And again, I'm going to tell you, this is the make of the car. So this is kind of similar to things that you've already done in that when you have like a graph that is supposed to represent data or represent something, you always say, like it's speed of the car and maybe speed of the car, miles per hour, maybe this is distance covered over a certain amount of hours or something. But you always label what the X and Y, and that's not it in this case. It's the horizontal and vertical axes represent. So the American percentage is 16.7, 33 for European, and 50 for Japanese. So the highest I need is a 50%. So this is what's hard for me. I'm like, how do I label the vertical axis so that I can kind of show everything? And it's not going to be perfect, and all your numbers are not going to fit in there perfectly, and you just have to get over that. I'm so sorry. So that's 10, 20, maybe 20, 30, 40, 50. Again, it does not have to be perfect, which again will drive some of y'all crazy, but that's all right. We don't have to be perfect in this. We just have to kind of have it relatively similar in our little slashes that indicate the difference on the y-axis. Okay, there we go. So now we're going to put our relative frequencies on this. So 16.7 is between 10 and 20. So I'm just going to draw a bar that kind of represents that. Many times, if it's not like you can't really tell, you'll actually write the number on top. And notice that this says percentage. I really tried to write percentage relative frequency there. That means that there is 16.7%. You don't write the percent again because this is a percent given on the side. 33 is a little above 30, so I know this is going to drive some of y'all crazy that it's not. Try to make your bends kind of close to the same. Goodness. Try the same width. Doesn't have to be, but kind of close. And then 50% is all the way up here. All right. So that is all of our frequencies and then our relative frequencies as a percentage of the total. All right, so that is it. I do want to just make sure that you understand that we did put spaces between our bars. We did try to keep our bars kind of the same width. It wasn't perfect, and that's okay. These are categorical data displays. So I'm going to grab my pink pen that I write with. No, I'm not. I'm going to grab my pink pen that I write with. And this is a categorical data display. That's what that is. So that is a picture of your data. Instead of putting it in a table, it's a picture of it. And if it's a frequency, it's the number that each thing has in the category. If it's a relative frequency, many times it's the percentage. You could do the percent, but normally it's a percentage. Make sure that you label your variables and label what you're actually counting, whether it's frequency or relative frequency, so that your reader knows how you're interpreting the data. All right, hope this helps. Thanks so much, and we'll see you next time for the next little section of day 2.